Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. Today we're continuing my declutter. We're up to my costume pieces. So this is stuff like hats, extra shirts, pants, stuff I've made for like Comic-Cons, like cosplay things, and then stuff I've done with my professional gigs. So I have certain outfits I'm supposed to wear, certain colors I'm supposed to bring with me. So all of that kind of stuff. And there is an enormous amount of things that I've just collected over the years. Because, if you have a really good costume piece or a prop that, you brought in yourself, especially in smaller productions, you tend to keep it because you might need it again someday. But some of this stuff is still good to keep, but some of it hasn't been used in years. And if I really needed it for a show, I'd find another one. It's okay. So because a lot of the stuff in this video is kind of bulky and weirdly shaped, I actually have bins on the floor in front of me. So I'll be filling those up. So anything I'm keeping, I'm going to put over here. Anything I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to toss over here. And I'll show you at the end exactly what's still in those bins. So what's next to me right now are all of my white shirts. I'm going to pull those forward. I also have undershirts too. So let's actually start with those. So these, I am keeping all of these. I'm taking these actually on my trip. So these are just little tank tops. I have like two white ones and a little light purple one. Can't really tell the difference underneath my outfit. But these I wear because one of the costume pieces in my current show that I'm doing actually cuts into my sides if I wear it all day. It's got metal boning in it. It's like a bodice. There's not a lot I can do about it. It's just the way that that thing's made and the way I'm shaped are not super compatible. And then I have several white shirts. That's definitely going to mess up the color focus on my camera today, but we'll try to get through it. They're all pretty similar, and for now I'm going to keep them because I think they're all in pretty good shape. How glowing will this be? So this one my mother made me. It has a really nice high neck collar. I'm definitely going to be taking this with me on my trip because this way it'll cover more of my shoulders. This one on the other hand is a heavier fabric that's more off the shoulder. So I tend to wear this for indoor shows that we're doing, but not outside. And these two shirts are pretty much the same. They're actually sort of sacrifice shirts. If I get sunscreen stains on them, I know that I can bleach them and get the stains out, but I don't expect the shirts to last more than a year or so because the fabric starts to degrade. So I am going to definitely take these on my trip, but I don't know if they'll make it through. They'll probably get through this summer, and then I'll probably have to get some new ones. So for my red shirts, this one is one I do wear a lot. My mother made it. It's sort of like a little below the elbows. It also covers up my shoulders for when I'm outdoors and it's sunny, and it's just a very comfy shirt. This one, on the other hand, this one she made me a long time ago for a different show that I'm no longer doing, and it doesn't really go with any of the costume pieces that I have for my own personal life, and it doesn't go with anything right now that it's not the right color scheme for my regular job either. So I think this shirt, I'm actually going to let this one go. Oh, this guy's sort of like my summer weight shirt. I will probably keep this one around for now. It's sort of got like a little off the sleeve thing. It's starting to get a little weak around the seams, so this one's not looking so good. I've had it a couple of years, like 4 or 5, but I'm going to keep it for now. And then I have this red shirt. This one I've had to sew a hole up in the underarms, and one of the sleeves has the elastic is busted. So actually I'm going to put this in my sewing pile. I need to get this thing fixed if I want to use it again. So I'm going to put that over to the side here. And then this shirt's relatively new actually, and it's just a nice long sleeve red shirt. This is a good fall shirt. I won't be wearing it this summer, but I'll wear it later on when I want to have as much coverage as possible. And then these two shirts. Oh, these are when I was in a court costume. So I was basically a fancy court lady, and so these are split up the front. They have a tie neck, and they have detailing on the sleeves. I wore these for a couple of years, and they're still in decent shape, but I don't think I need to keep both of them. I don't think that's necessary at this point. So I think I'm going to keep this one because I like the cuffs better. So this one I'm going to keep, and this one I'm going to let go of. Moving on to black shirts. I have a few of these. This one is pretty big, and I don't know if I want to keep that one. I think I have a smaller one now. Yeah, this one's a little bit longer, but it's more fitted in the shoulders. So this one I think I'm going to keep, and I'm going to let this one go. And then this black shirt, this is a silk shirt, but it looks like this essentially. This might actually have a hole in it too. Let me check. Yeah, this needs some repairs as well, so I'm going to put that in the sewing pile. And as previously stated, anything that goes in my sewing pile, it has to get fixed before the beginning of February, or I didn't care enough to fix it. So that means that's going to be on the chopping block if I don't take care of it soon. Moving along, oh, one more shirt. I don't actually know why this is in my clothes stuff. This is just like a regular stripy shirt. I might have stuck this in here with the thought that maybe I would use it as a costume piece, but I don't have any reason to use this as a costume piece. It's also not in very good shape right now, although it's very soft fabric, which I love. So I think I'm just gonna let that go. I think this is just like a netting shirt to go over like a tank top. I'm not sure why it's in the costume pieces, but I don't think I've ever worn it, so I'm gonna let that go. Anyway, moving on to pants, because that's what's coming up next. All of these pants I'm gonna keep. These are pants my mother either made for me, and then I have one pair that I purchased. And these are pants that I wear under my costuming, because I'm wearing skirts. I wear them under my costuming to give me extra layers, so if it's cold, they're not visible to other people, but it's a comfy pair of pants. So all three of these I'm definitely going to keep. I'm going to need these this summer. I also have two cold weather sweaters. There's this one which actually just got downgraded out of my sweaters because it goes with my red scheme. So I'm going to keep this one, and this is my older one. I actually found this at the Gap, but it's like this really neat like ombre sweater cardigan. And I do wear this in the winter when it's cold, so I will keep this guy too. So I actually have 3 white aprons. One is a short white apron. This is a longer white apron, and this is actually a pinafore that used to go to, I think, an Alice in Wonderland costume I had forever ago. I don't need to keep all 3 of these. I think I'm going to keep the pinafore. I think I will keep this longer apron because I think that's more useful. And I think I'm going to pass along this shorter one. I know somebody who can use this. This skirt and bodice, they actually go together. They're a set. I wear these when I'm performing with my band. I won't be taking these on my trip because that's, I'll be wearing a different outfit for that. But this is my personal costume that I am going to keep. And it's still, I keep this in very good condition. I have this bodice, which is from a show I did a couple of years ago, and I've worn it several times since because it is very pretty and you can sort of dress it up or dress it down. It also has flouncy flower and feather stuff that goes around the bottoms as well, but I've taken that part off. I still am going to keep this. The boning in this is so broken. It's not meant for you to bend over and do fighting and stuff, and I did a lot of stage combat in this bodice back in the day, so I still want to keep it because I do wear it every once in a while. It's just sort of as like a pretty outfit. I don't fight in it anymore, so I do want to keep it. And then this is actually a reversible one, so it's got this pretty brocade on one side and it's just dark blue on the other, and this is sort of like an underbutt, so it sits here around your waist. It's very comfortable and I do want to keep it as well. And then you sort of get into random stuff. So these are sort of all of my random bandanas. So these are from one of the pirate shows that I did. This is from our Christmas show. This is from our regular show. Like we sold these for a while because I have a whole bunch. And then these are from my pirate band. So like I wear them around my belt and I use them to like wipe my hands off or something. If like I'm sweaty or like I drop something and it's dirty, I'll use this to help clean up stuff. So it's good to have them. I just have a bunch, so I need to just remember I certainly don't need any more. This is a reversible red and black wrap. So I've actually used this as a blanket when it's cold because it matches my color scheme. So this I am still going to keep. It's just a really nice scarf. But what that tells me is I do not need any more cold weather gear. So if anything else comes into the house, something else has to go. So once upon a time I met a lovely lady who worked at a shop at one of the festivals that I was working at, and she had this shirt that she had tried to make for somebody, but like the proportions were off, so like the sleeves were like hilariously too long. So she's like, it wasn't worth for her to take the fabric back apart and like redo it, so she ended up giving it to me, and I ended up sewing the sleeves to the bottom of the piece so I could make myself like a little cloak. My only problem is it's blue and black, and I don't get to wear it very much because I can't wear this like in normal life. This is really, it's like definitely a costume piece, but it doesn't go with my color scheme. I still would like to keep it for now, but I'm going to put a thing on this that if I don't actually wear it this year, I can't keep it anymore. I have too much stuff I don't already use, so I'm going to put that on probation. And so these are 3 pirate bandanas that I'm really sorry I apparently borrowed from you, Stuart. I promise I'll give them back now. I had no idea I had this many. Clearly they got shoved in a bag. They're from a show I did a long time ago, and I knew that I had one of them. Like they said it was fine for me to keep one. I didn't know I had 2 more, so I'm gonna give these back. So sorry about that. Didn't mean to keep them so long. So this is actually a bag of mermaid tails that I had to make for a show, and I've actually given another one of them away. I had 4 altogether, and I gave one away to another production who needed a mermaid costume, but I still have a couple left for me. I am going to keep them because I keep them stored in this plastic, so they're sort of out of the way. But this is an example of, I should probably see if there's anybody else who needs a mermaid costume, because I don't need 3 other full mermaid costumes. So I'll keep these for now, but I should try to find them a new home as well. Oh, and these are my fighting gloves, and these are my It's Really Cold Out gloves, so that are specifically costume pieces. So these I am going to keep. So this little bag is where I keep all of my extra lacing, so for any of my bodices, that sort of thing. I have a couple different colors, so I do want to keep all of those. And I did actually keep them stored in one singular place, so I want to keep them all together. There was a show in which we had a section of the dialogue that we were allowed to substitute in something we wanted to say. It could be anything we wanted, but we had to have at least like 3 terrible puns, and you could have a prop related to your terrible puns. So that way everybody had an opportunity to make that role their own. So for me, I went on a little tangent about steak and like, what's at stake for this, and do you want to meet me outside? Terrible jokes. This is from that show. It's actually a dog toy. It still makes me laugh when I look at it, so I would like to keep it. It does, you know, it still sparks joy in me to see it. It's very silly. It doesn't take up a lot of space, so this I am going to keep, because it does make me laugh when I see it. Oh, I have a couple of masks. I have this butterfly one, and I have a black one as well. I think I'm gonna let go of the butterfly one. It needs new strings anyway, but I haven't been wearing it. I'll keep the black one though. This is actually part of a hair piece from a musical I did a really long time ago. I would like to keep it just for nostalgia's sake, since it fits in this bag. It's a cross from a nun costume I wore once. Still have the cross, don't have the nun costume. Oh, and I have a bunch of like fancy little handkerchiefs. And these were actually like from my great aunt. So I would like to keep these. I use them, you know, if you're doing a show that's set in a different time period, I'll have this out. So keep it in my purse. I'll also store my extra eye patch in here and my spyglass. This is all stuff that I don't necessarily use very often, but it's good to keep it in one little bag so I know where it is, because all of this stuff gets stored in a drawer. This is my extra kazoo. I need to put this as my musical instruments. This is coming out of here. This is actually a scroll I made for a show, and I guess I got to keep it since I made it, but I don't need it anymore. I'm actually gonna throw this out. Like the dowel rod is all broken inside. It's not worth keeping. Oh, so these are little straps to hold your boots up. So if you have like over the knee boots, you can put the strap here. They're actually old dog collars. You can put them there to keep your boots from falling down. I don't wear boots like that anymore because I prefer a little ankle boot instead. So I don't actually need to keep these. So these are my fire fans. I used these in a show and I did choreography with them. They're sort of like, you use them for belly dancing, that kind of thing. They're really beautiful. So it's like a fancy ombre silk. I bought myself a pair so I could practice at home when I was, you know, putting together all the choreography. Unfortunately, one of them is kind of busted. They're really cheap. I bought them off Amazon, so they're not in the best of shape. And I was using them outdoors anyway, so they started to get really dirty. So I'm actually going to let these go. This is my fancy leaf crown. It's made out of leather. It's really beautiful, actually. I am going to keep this, but I need to store it in a better place because I don't want it to get smushed. Moving on to drinking vessels, this is my regular mug that I have. So this insert here is plastic, it's removable. This bottom part is leather, but because this is a nice sturdy plastic, you can put hot and cold beverages in this, plus it's easy to clean. And then this little guy attaches it to my belt. So this I'm definitely going to keep. It's the best. This is like my prop goblet. I don't use it very often. It's made out of pewter. You could drink it. I just would need to clean it again if I wanted to drink out of it. I will keep it for now, but I guess I did use it for the last year. I brought it in for a show because they were like, if you have a fancy drinking vessel, I was like, oh, I have one. So I brought one in. So this is 2 out of 3 of my parasols. This black one has flowers on it. This actually originally belonged to my husband because he used it in a show and then he kind of broke it, so he gave it to me and then I fixed it. So I'm keeping it for myself. This I'm actually going to be taking with me on my trip to help keep the sun off my face because it'll fit in with the colors. And this pink and blue one, I actually found this on the ground and then nobody claimed it from Lost and Found, so I got to keep this one too. I would like to keep it for now. It doesn't take up a lot of space. These are my leather bracers. Basically, you can pretend you're like Xena Warrior Princess and wear them. You're in Lord of the Rings. I do like them. They're not the most comfortable. They're not good on bare skin. I always have to wear a shirt under them, but I will keep them for now. They're pretty cool looking. This is a sword hanger, so basically my broadsword would go through this. This I am going to keep just in case I ever need it for something. And then these are all of my pouches. They're all my leather pouches that I picked up over the years. This one was a gift. This is my Klingon pouch. It's very cute, so thanks for that, Chris. I appreciate it still. I do wear it. This one, I do sort of try to keep this one out of the rain because the red will bleed, but I do love this thing, so I am going to keep it. And these two are just very basic, sturdy. I have a brown one and a black one. I like to have options depending what I'm wearing. This is so you can keep your wallet when you're walking around. If you're doing interactive theater and you don't have to worry about it, it blends into your costume, but your personal stuff is safe. So these I'm going to keep. And this one, even though I don't love the way it hooks closed because it sometimes will pop back open, this is the only pouch I own that is big enough to fit my cell phone in its case, so this I'm keeping. This pouch, on the other hand, though, it is very nice. I never use it. My phone doesn't fit in it, and I like my other pouches better, so this one, I think I'm going to let this one go. So, moving on to hats. So this little pirate hat is just a little, like, knitted stocking cap. This I'm going to keep. This actually goes under this hat, which is my regular pirate hat. This keeps my hat from falling off, so these double up. So these I'm definitely going to keep. This is my old mob cap. My mom originally made this for me for a show I was doing years ago, but I actually did wear it recently in a show again, and it still makes me laugh. So this I'm going to keep. This is my Admiral's hat. This hat's very silly and it just makes me laugh, so this one I still want to keep. I have no real reason to keep this hat, but I like this hat. This hat was in a bag to get thrown out from a costume department because it's so old and like weird, but like, why would you throw this hat out? It's amazing. So, and then these are just little like muffin hats that you can put on. These I still want to keep as well. And this is my backup pirate hat in case of emergency because it's made out of felt and you can just basically roll this up. So this I'm going to keep. So this is my Medusa hat. This was from a show I did, and the fight director at the end of the show let me keep it because he's like, well, I got it for you. He's like, so you should get to be the one to take it home. And I actually wore it for Halloween this year, even though it's been years since we did that particular show and that fight. It still makes me laugh, so I want to keep that. And this is my old Cavalier hat. I just don't use it anymore. It was for a show I did a couple of years ago. I should probably just try to sell this because it's still in pretty good condition. I'm just probably never going to use it again, so I don't need to keep this hat, so I'll let that go. So this hat was actually a gift. We performed a play in Abilene, Texas, and when the cast arrived at the house we were staying at, they had welcome baskets for everybody that included this hat. So I actually kept this hat, and I'm going to take it with me on my trip to Florida just so I don't burn the top of my head. And then this is just like a blue felt hat. I just sort of think of this as like my J-Lo hat, you know, circa mid-2000s. So I do like this hat. I'm going to keep it. So this is costuming that I built for a Comic-Con that I attended. So when I dress up for Comic-Con, I tend to do characters from the Zelda franchise. So this particular box, this is when I was being the postman, specifically from Twilight Princess. So like, there's my hat, basically run around the country handing out mail, especially to Link. And then I also dressed up as Impa from Ocarina of Time. So like there's my little neck piece. I have a corset that I built, like the blue pants and shirt. So all of that. So that's all in here. I know I want to keep this outfit and I want to keep this in this bin because it's safe in here. So this is fine. And like there, it's even labeled. So I store this under the bed. So that one's safe. This is my wig box. So I've got my wig stand and then all the wigs in here are from shows of some kind. So like this wig is from the most recent costume I built, which was the Zelda from Breath of the Wild, her walking around the world outfit, like the gray pants and the blue shirt. So that's what this wig was for. My Impa wig is in here. I did the Great Fairy one year, so I have a Great Fairy wig. And then I just have some random wigs. I have 2 random curly blonde wigs in here. I actually don't know what they're from, so let's pull those out. Oh, and I have a red wig from when I was dressed up as Molotov from the Venture Brothers. So I have that wig too. I frankly have not the slightest idea where this wig came from. I assume someone gave it to me because I could use it for something. I don't even know. Did I buy it as like a template? I don't know. Where'd this one come from? Oh, this is like a horrifying Marilyn Monroe wig. Oh, okay. This wig I definitely am not going to be keeping. This wig, I feel like I bought it for a reason. This one I think I could actually work with. That other one, no. So this wig I'm going to keep. Alright, and this is my Zelda costume I just wore recently. This is actually the Zelda costume I just wore this past year. So this is the top to it. So I hand stitched all of this, cut out all this fabric. This is like a labor of love. This is both for me to practice my sewing skills and because it's fun to get dressed up. And then I just wear whatever it is I picked out for Halloween. I like to dress up. It's fun to dress up. I also have a very strict budget. I try not to spend more than $100 on these costumes because that's silly. Alright, so there's like garbage in this box, I think from like the stockings I was wearing, so I'm going to pull out any of that kind of stuff. My acrylic gold paint is still in here. That should not have gotten put away in this box. And I have some ping pong balls. So I was dressed up as the Great Fairy who assists Link in his travels, and I had also made little fairies out of ping pong balls that I had attached to myself. So those I'm going to keep. So excluding stuff like garbage, I ended up getting rid of 16 pieces, including a pretty big hat that takes up a lot of space. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'll take a picture of everything that's on the floor so you can see what I'm keeping. So this is the bin of stuff that is going. And then over here, this is the drawer that's going to go back into the wardrobe. I just sort of tossed everything. It does all fit back in there. All the hats and the parasols go on top of the wardrobe, and that drawer slides back into there. So we're actually really close to being done. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, please subscribe. We are almost done with the declutter. I just have a couple more things. There's some drawers in my wardrobe that I need to go through that has stuff like belts, that kind of thing. But otherwise, we're pretty close to being done, and I'm super excited. My room is like the cleanest it's been in years, probably. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Good luck with your decluttering, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!